Good afternoon. Good afternoon, family, and welcome to the Anchor Club. I'm your host. My name is Melvin Jackson, and I am your brother. And I am my brother's keeper, and I come with good tidings from our Father that sent me to you. So, once again, welcome to the Anchor Club. The first time you're joining us, welcome. You're certainly in the right place. And what we do here is we search for the Father. We're on a mission and we are searching. And I hope you come with your binoculars, your glasses, and whatever it takes for you to see what's before you. For when the Father speaks to us, it is the wise ones of us that take advantage. We search for the Father. I am a student of the living God, and I come before you, and I am your messenger, if you will. I am my brother's keeper. And so, again, this is the Anchor Club. Your brother's been at work like I should be, studying and taking all these things in that the Father give me, as well as the very reason for the things that we search for in this life. I'm looking for the ones that are willing to get in the dirt and dig. We know something's under there, and we've got a signal, and we hunt and we search. We look for the Lord, and we look for understanding of our Father, the great I am. So, Father, please put your words on this tongue of mine and allow us to come closer to search for you, Father. Answer our questions, for we have many questions. Show us what life is about and what your intentions are for us in this life. So, family, as your brother says most times, let's get it on. Okay, so right now I'm looking at excuse me, Ezekiel chapter 18. The soul that sin will die. Okay, yeah, we got to know some things here. We have some rules in place here, and we have to look at them. We just have to do it. When I was younger and I was growing up, and I avoided such things, or should I say, such words as let's start with just being disciplined. Wow, it sounds simple until we dive into its meaning and what it means, and to understand and see what the actions are of one that does that. That's not one that's in a rush to move or to judge or to act. Scripture always speaks of the wise one that looks at what he's doing, pays attention to see what is the gain and what is the loss, if you will. Almost as if to say, what is the reason? What what reason do I have to go out my way? Watch how this sound. And go out my way to search for God. What reason do I have for that? Is it that I have to sometimes be brought to the very thought of that question to say, what is reasoning? What is it? And what benefit is it to me? Where I go, what I do. Family, we discussing other videos, just like other parts of the Bible when it talks about behavior, uh, dispositions, if you will. Um, from where I am today and where I long to be tomorrow, the journey always starts with the first step. And such as life, when we come to a point in our life when we start to search for reasons, all of the things that I might have put in that position that I thought were my reasons, through my research and living long enough to see some reasons just don't hold true. Or so I thought, as such, that those were my reasons, only to find out that they were not reasons at all. Searching for myself, trying to find my place in all of this. Is it easy to loan myself to situations that almost sound like people that follow other people? Am I just in it, my very existence in life, just a follower? And if not, how do I know? How, how do I get to know things about myself lest I challenge those things? Family, when we search and we look for, if you will, I say for myself, a better life than I'm living, then I have to have something to compare it to. And it is in those very reasons that it stands to reason, if you will, for one like me, that when I come to crossroads, if you will, and I have a choice to go to the left or to the right, and I do my best to go where it is I believe that I should go. How do I liken what I'm saying to situations? When I was younger and I did things that I thought were, or at the time appeared to be fun, but over a period of time, it lost its luster, if you will, and it was no longer fun anymore. What changed about it that made me start to reason what I'm saying? If I could reach for example, here come your brother. Now let's put our thinking hats on. I'll speak for me, and maybe you can see yourself within that very reason. That I once again that I've done things in the past that I thought was either fun or enjoyable, and then I've done it enough, and I seen that it didn't do that. It didn't make me feel right about that anymore. Uh, maybe the same thing that I've done to situations had to be done. Excuse the English, to me, for me to start to see there's two sides to every coin that I have seen up to now. It's two sides. If one side is the one that influences me, and I say to myself, why go any further? Let's stay where we are. This is great. This is good. I love this. I can't get enough of it. And then one day, oh, come on now. You lived a minute like I've lived a minute, and I've done things, and I'm sure you have too. Only maybe to, the old expression, go 360, you go to the complete circle. And most cases, or most times, I found in my life that I moved on to other things. Maybe one avenue opened up another avenue, and I decided to see things from different directions. Lo and behold, truth be told, yeah, I hope I'm not getting too deep or too far from you, but what I'm trying to articulate to the best that I can is when things run its course and I see that it doesn't serve me anymore. So I look for something new, if you will, or more something that serves me better. One of the videos, we call it a valley of decisions, when we come up to a point where we decide that we need to take a different direction because the old direction is not fruitful to where I want to go. So I have to go another direction because where I just left, I know what's there, and what I was looking for is not there. Change direction. Sometimes it called for me to change my thinking, leading to change myself. Hmm. The soul who sins will die. We have a cardinal man, earthly man, and we have a spiritual man, godly man. We're held to that discipline from our Father that gave us and breathed in us a living soul. That soul takes on this earthly body. The body yearns out. Why do it yearn out? Why is the body separate from the soul? Our Father made it that way. Did he make a mistake when he made it? No, absolutely not. God don't make mistakes. But once we get wise, come on now, wise. So should we break down wise? If you or me, or when I have become wiser, if you will, and I'll speak of today's terms, I became hip to certain things. That's the old expression. Then I measure those things out with my reasoning. And when I'm hip to some things, it shows me it shows me something different. Or can I say it certainly led to something different, because every day can't be the same. It's not meant to be the same, and it is not the same. It could almost look identical, almost like two twins are born. You know, some people say I couldn't tell one from the other, if you will. You know who can tell the difference? The mother can. Mother knows one from another, and so does the Father that made that mother. God knows us better, certainly, than we know ourselves. He makes that clear in Scripture when he says, I knew you before you were as such. I knew you before you were. Come on, talk to me, Father. I knew you before I blew the breath of life in your very nostril. I knew you, the Father says. Every hair on your head was numbered by the one that made you and me. Wow. Can I give way to that? Well, let's see how smart I am. They say it's better to be wise than smart. Smart holds you to a certain position, if you will, just like our educational system. You become good at becoming a recital, so you recite what they teach you or me in those schools, and so we become good at reciting. But then as we get older, we start questioning the things we were reciting, and we either find it to be truth or false. Those things lead us, those things show us the things in life that are before us. And then at a certain point, we begin to be held responsible for our very actions. That is right behind our reasons. But when we think the thought, we do the action. And it's not the other way. Even though sometimes when we think and we say, well, why didn't you think about what you did before you did it? Maybe you wouldn't have done it. Excuse that grammar, if you will. But I think you understand my point, that as we advance and we begin to learn, God gives us time to grow and to learn. In scripture, when Israel, us, was faced in the very beginning, certainly when it came to what we proclaim to be fighting men, and the Lord said 18 and older, they will be taken and put in the army. 18 years and older, you can go to the army. 17 years old, you can't go because you were not to that level. I say that level of maturity for all of those reasons. But 18 was chosen. It's a year different. Gave you a year to get your mind straight and your mind together. It's almost in comparison with one that's immature and don't know and still learning. And those are old enough to know, and those that do know are responsible at that point on. I can't blame my mother for my lack, if you will. I could, but it doesn't hold any water. Why? If we use that expression at that point, we say, I have my own mind, and I'm old enough to know and understand that. And anybody can bring anything to me, but I have my mind towards how I see it, what I'll do about it, my decision. And I am held responsible for that very decision. It's fair. If God does it, scripture said he does, it is fair. Because that's the borderline, if I could put it that way, between not knowing and knowing. It's one thing not knowing and old enough to know. At what point will you begin to know? So the ignorance of not knowing doesn't hold you anymore because the age suggests otherwise. And that's why there's a difference between being of age, if you will, and not. I don't hold a 6-year-old responsible because they don't know anything. Excuse maybe. Maybe they know how to go to the potty, so they do know some things, but they don't know enough to be on their own to be responsible. The soul who sins will die like a seed that was planted above the soil. If that seed don't find its way in the soil, it won't grow. But everything it needs in terms of its growth is in the soil. Not obviously necessarily on top of the soil. That seed need to get in that soil. I am and you are, if I can show you where I can complete this statement. We are seeds. I'm a seed. How so? Look at a seed. Look at me. God made it so, if you will, that I can bring another human being in this world through my seed. All the conditions applied, if you will. I am a living seed. I bought a bag, excuse me. I bought a bag of seeds for my grass the other day. Oh, they pack them up in that bag, and you couldn't even begin to count how many seeds there were in that bag. Those are seeds that will bring forth grass when it's planted in the soil. And certainly, if that soil is nourished, that is the very law that God put in place. You will get a growth. Yes, you will. But the Father made it that way. Let me hold on to the point because I can't lose it. It's too important to know that when we are older enough to make decisions, but yet we have not made decisions, how long can we go about our way on this earth without fulfilling the very reason why we're here? I have to, again, come back to reasons. Scriptures say there's a time for everything under the sun. There is time to do whatever you choose to do. At any given time that you decide to do it is the freedom of sometimes, for me, family. You could call me a late bloomer. In fact, I can call myself that. I don't take pride as such because when I start to really look at my walk and what I know, I can't help but to honestly say, I wish I knew some of these things when I was younger. But notwithstanding, I didn't. Here's my reality. I didn't. I talk to my younger family members all the time. And it bothers me within myself sometimes to know that when I hear them and I talk to them and I listen to their reasons or reasoning, and I see one that hasn't matured, hasn't learned, not wanting to learn, refusing to learn, trying to make my own way. 10 years go by like nothing. 10 years is 10 years seem like truly a minute. 20 years is not too far behind that. 30, 30 and 40, and you start to dig in. Life starts showing you, yeah, you need to get some of this, boy. We call it life. Yeah, you're gonna get some of this. You're gonna have to go through things. You're gonna see things. You live long enough, you breathe long enough. You have to You you have to see things. Deciding when you'll jump in. Can I do this? It's just coming, and I'm gonna do it because here come your brother. You know, guys didn't jump rope. I surely didn't. I don't see fault in it. In fact, I see boxers, one of some of the toughest guys you could learn to. You just said jumping rope don't look so tough, but when you see what the reasons are for it, then you maybe get a new a new outlook on it. But that jumping is timing, and that timing is movement, and when them boxers get in there, you go in there thinking that guy is lightweight and he'll knock your head off really easy. My point in saying that, well, okay, so let's stick to the point. So jumping rope, you ever see how it's done? Yeah, I used to watch my sisters and the girls. We used to come by and they jump and rope. This, I'm a couple days old. They don't do that anymore. But when we were kids, they girls used to do those kind of things, and we watch them. And they have one called double dutch. It wasn't just a simple jumping rope, meaning that it's timing. Look, you're learning and you don't even understand, but it's fun, man. But anyway, let's stick to the point. And the girl timed herself. She timed herself. She timed, and then when she hear that rope hit that ground and that beat start, and she jump in and she kicking her leg, man, man, them sisters ain't no joke. And then guys like me, we clowning around, acting silly, and we could try to jump in there and do it. No, 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 no. We didn't even understand the concept. We thought it was just about moving your feet fast enough that you could, when that next rope is coming to touch the ground, that your feet is up in the air again. We didn't understand that, and I'm just using that for an example because it just came to my mind because that's how it was. Well, sometimes it's very similar in life because we get a beat in our head. I don't want to get too deep on you, but the beat almost suggests that it is something about time and movement, and it brings maturity. And so as you see it, and for one like me, I made a lot of mistakes, and I didn't see what was clear before me. Even sometime when I was told, I just didn't get it. I don't know if I just didn't get it or I just didn't want to get it. I you know I don't want to lose my point here. But I do know and understand and remember how I was about when it came to things like that. And I used to look at it and say, you know what, man, stop rebelling, man, and you know, start to do what's expected of you, you know, and 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 if you will, part of there lies the very discipline. Because I can't, you know, life can't always be about what I want at any given moment. No more than life is always. I understand the concept of life is what you make it or what you could make it. I don't want to lose my point, but I'm saying that some things in life, you, sometimes I should say, in life, you're going to be called to order. You know, to order, and any given thing that it calls you for, it's to pay attention to it, to understand it, and then act in a way, if you will, in accordance to what it is or what is expected of it. It's called maturity. Why is this silly thing coming in my head? But I'll go with it. I can't be a Toys R Us kid forever. At some point, these things, I call them toys because they're entertainment to the less mature, if you will. Remember when we was growing up? Talking to a few of you out there, that sometimes we used to see certain things, but then when we begin to advance, Them toys don't serve you anymore. You're looking for bigger and better things in life. And here lies challenges before you and me. I family was one that I was around people that didn't want to pay attention to these things. Discipline. Why? Who in the world want to deal with discipline? Discipline is absolutely no fun. Listen to how that sounds. Discipline is absolutely no fun. But it is the very part of it, discipline that is, that can and will lead to fun. When you do what is expected of you, hey, here, come on, here come your brother now. I could hang out all night, excuse me, and be a mess in the morning. Can't get up, can't function, can't do what's expected of me. Let's lock it in now. Let's lock it in. How in the world could I expect to get my apartment by doing nothing? Come on with me, because these things are very simple. I gotta get them simple lessons. How is it that? Is it the idea that I live there, but when I need time to pay my rent, I go and ask somebody else to pay? It doesn't even sound right. No, because that is a reward. My apartment is a reward for me being disciplined enough to do what is expected of me to do. And if I so choose to do that very thing, then I can have the things that I want in the matter of how we're speaking now. Is discipline fun? There's a time for everything under the sun. There's a time to entertain yourself. There's a time to have fun. Whoever knows what that is to any given person. There's a time to go to sleep, like there's a time to get up in the morning. There's a time to go to work, and there's a time to relax on the weekend. There is a time, it is that very structure that the sooner you and I and one that is growing get that lesson, the sooner they're off and running. I got it. You ever hear that one? You ever hear one that just keep telling you the same thing over and over and over and over? And at what point do you, me, or the listener get to say, okay, don't repeat that again, please. I got it, or I have it, or I understand it. You don't have to say it to me again because I understand it and I accept it and I will act according to these things. Once again, it is these simple things that whenever I'm called in terms of questioning of what I'm speaking of, I am coming to reason with knowing there's a time for everything. And when I put those everything things, if you will, whatever those things are, in its place, then I have a better chance, if you will, to be successful with what it is that I'm trying to obtain or do. But those things have to be in order for that to happen. And if I don't do those things, then how do I expect these things? You know, family, and I know things don't just drop out the sky as such. Well, you have to get up and get what it is that you want. And so in life, until the very moment that you're never that you are not here to do those things, that's different. When you and I am quite willing and able to do not only what is expected of me, but what I expect of myself, there's my maturity. These are simple things. Here we come now. Here your brother come. These are simple understandings. You can't get you can't get more simple than these things. I want things in life. I want a better life. I want. When do you start getting what it is that you want? Better to do some things while you are young and that you are able to do them. There's a time for everything under the sun. This is a time to do that. But one day you may not have as much energy, if you will. One day you may not have, I'm gonna say one leg, you may not have any legs. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to talk that way because I'm saying I have a tendency to take things for granted. I and we have taken many things for granted only to know and learn and understand that it's not good to do that because what you have today you may not have tomorrow. And what guarantees do you have that you will? The soul that sin will die. We're here on a mission here. We are a living soul and we're struggling in this cardinal body that's full of desires. That want the body wants to make your soul submissive. But it is the other way around. Your very soul has to make your body submissive. Simple laws like when you sit upright and you eat your food, the body feeds the head. You sit up at the table and you eat your food, your lower portion of that head brings the food to the mouth. We don't bow down and eat. Excuse the way that sounds. It's not funny, but it just sounds like we see animals do. And we're not animals, we're living beings in the image and likeness of the Father that made everything, continues to make everything, including us. We are a living soul, and so we have to feed that soul. We have to know or get to know ourselves and who we are. We can't stay immature forever. We have to mature. And as you mature, man, it is a school. It surely is a school. Like we say, and I've said before in some of the other videos, if one and one is true, that is two, then it is the very mathematics that I accept, that very theory. I got to get to know who I am. And the quicker I do that, the quicker that life will be enjoyable to me. Well, when I get to know who I am, then I get to know who my father is. I start to say who he is, but I say who my father is. Because all of these things are taught to me in his very words. It is it is a science of such, if you will. It is. And maybe sometimes, maybe we do have to challenge these things so that we really, really get it through our head and understand it. And as the very seed that I am, start to find myself in that soil. Where is this soil that I need to be in to give myself the growth that I need? It is like life is the soil. Life before me. It is not always enough for me to dream about what I would like to have, but yet not be willing to get up and go and get what it is that I want in life. These challenges that separate me from just daydreaming all day long about what I want, but are unwilling to do what it takes to have a family. I am my brother's keeper. I bring reasoning, excuse me, if you will. My father gives me reason, and I bring it how he gives it. But these reasons are very, 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 very important, family, to our betterment, for our growth, for the things that we look to see in life. One day, as a seed, I have a child, a son or a daughter, if you will, and I want the best for them, like I would want the best for myself. And I would, as a good father, like God is with me, for them to go through life and learn and have a good life, the best life that they can give themselves, not expecting life, and I say in general as such, to do all of these things. Well, life, some things sit before us are what we call lifeless. They don't have the makeup that we know it to be, but they do exist in the world. Just like there's things in the world that are good. Having your own place, it is not only a requirement for later on in life, but it is something good. Why? Open up the book. You learn independence. You learn how to take care of yourself. You learn when to feed yourself. You learn how to clean your house. You learn how to clean your clothes. You learn how to cut your hair. You know how to take a bath. Excuse me, family. I have to use these things as comparison to the simpler things of what we're talking about. And it is the very simplicity of these things that lead to bigger and better things. Well, you don't stay in preschool. Eventually, you're going to get to school. You're going to get to first grade, and you'll learn what they learn in first grade and second grade, and on and on and on, even into our young adulthood, if you will. It is stepping stones to these things. Going back to the simpler things that we're talking about, discipline is so important. Yes, it is. Mm. I wrote down the other day, I was looking at this, and I can't recall the thought, but I'm learning how to write down my thoughts sometimes. Only God knows when they will be applicable. And I wrote down a curse can be a blessing if you get the lesson. We was we were cursed because we broke the covenant with God. 40 years. 40 years. Oh, excuse me, 40 years. I'm so sorry. God forgive me. 400 years of slavery. And the curse followed us completely through. putting you in the land of your, putting you, excuse me, not only in the land, but in the very hands of your enemy. Why? Because nothing is going to be easy for you. You are being under a curse. So you're told, almost sound like a sentence. Go to jail and do your time. And bring your best self. But there's no way out of this. Except you learn, you take your punishment and hope for the best, if you will. But a curse can be a blessing. For God don't just punish you as such. Because your punishment, hopefully if you're wise enough to know or learn or understand, that is almost a solution. And we call it a blessing. You went in there and you did what you needed to do. You made a mistake, excuse the way this sounds, and you went to jail. That was your punishment. And you went to jail and you did as they say, keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble, and sooner or later, God willing, quite naturally, you'll see your way back out and you'll have another opportunity. So a curse can be a blessing if you and I can get the lesson. It's not just the rebellion from being disciplined. When you don't do right, when I was growing up, my mother and my father, when I didn't do right, I didn't get rewarded. And neither should I. And neither should you. In fact, we got what we said was punishment. No, you can't go out there. You're on punishment. You can't do the things that you like. You're on punishment. These things are to try to stop you from doing things that don't benefit you. But when that's taken away and mom's not there no more, she gave you everything she could. Pops is not there no more. He gave you everything he could. And now it's you and me. At what point do we catch ourselves and fix ourselves? Well, we are able to do it. Lesson, we want more of what we're getting. We know that's not life. We look at that and say that's barely surviving. That's not life that we know it. Scripture said, Christ said, I came to give you life in more abundance. You pick where you want to be with this. Excuse me. Life as we know it and as we understand it, that we have a say so. How do we sum it up when it's done and say all of these things were given to us, but we didn't give way to none of them? What do that say about me and you as a person? Who am I to expect my children to do the best they can when I, as their father, never gave them a good example? I'm not saying that's an excuse for them not to, because it's not. Because we said it earlier, at that age of 18, you are on your own now. Oh, you could blame oh boy, the way the sun rise this morning and the water, and pick your choice when you want to blame something. Truth, truth is that we have to hold ourselves hostage to that thinking, because there's nobody to blame but ourselves. And I'm not saying, Bill, it's never, never, as long as we're living and breathing, come on, talk to me, that we can change it, turn it around, make a decision. I myself, I'm not even going to blame it on all the distraction, because I'm going to own every part of that. Even to the point where I sit before you this very moment and say that I start now to move in a direction that I find that is best for me. And I have to pick out the things that are what they are to me. I can't live for Johnny up the block, excuse me, or for somebody down that way. At some point, I have to stop blaming everything around me and start taking responsibility for my own doing. And that means stop it with the blame game, if you will. Stop blaming everything and start accepting your own, if you will, responsibility towards what you know is right and what you know is wrong. I can't blame everything on everybody. And I could, but how do I look like at the end of my life to say all of that stuff that was in my way? I blame it all because I could have been this, I could have been that, I could have. It goes nowhere. Look, that one was so that at the very last moment of their life, excuse me, they repented and God accepted them. It is never, ever too late to change how you think, to change what you look at, to change what direction. It is never too late as long as you're living. You can change that whenever you see fit. I submit to you today is a good day to do that very thing. It's not overnight, and everything is not always going to be easy. Christ said it so clearly so many times. He said to them, of myself, I can do nothing. Can I say that again? Say it again. Of myself, I can do nothing. About what? About anything. Of myself, I can do nothing. But any and everything is doable through him. Can I believe that I of myself can do nothing? No, surely I could do. Well, what's your holdup? And why are you not there yet? You don't bear witness to your very tongue. Oh, because this is in the way, and they don't let me do that, and that. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, blame it on Rio. I got you. In your land of your enemy, you're not expected to have the same opportunities. It wouldn't be punishment. Amen. That's what makes it punishment. But you're still expected to do what you can do. And that is something. You can do something. And you could do the best you can. And you can make a effort. And then you don't let people stop you from your effort. Why are you doing that? Well, I'm trying. Well, stop trying. Oh, no, I can't. As long as I got the breath of life in me, I'll try it. And I'll continue to try it. You know, my hope says maybe one day you'll actually get it. But I won't give up. As long as I got blood running in my vein and I got a heart that's pounding inside my chest and beat family talk with your brother. Come on, let's get on it. Let's stop feeding this cardinal man with these earthly desires and ignoring the true spirit of the true soul that is not being fed. I'm starving myself. I'm taking in all of this garbage Nothing is nutritious to what they give me and sell me. I find myself just surviving when I don't have to. That is my choice. That is our choice. And we are expected to make our choice and make a good one based on something to stretch for our very, very reasoning. Come, let us reason, family, together. I am my brother's keeper. My father sent me for you. You're a seed like I am. Go get your brother, my father said to me, and don't come back without him. I would suggest he's important. God wastes not. God don't say, Melvin, you got it together. Don't worry about him. Just bring yourself. A curse can be a blessing if you get the lesson. I love my family like I love myself, and I want the best for my family like I want the best for myself. Oh, chosen one, how long would you have to sit in your filth before you get up and do something with yourself? Stop buying all of the bad things they sell you about who you are and what you can be, and start looking up to the one that made you, for he will only make you better. That message has been given. Your message has been given. May it hit like the bullseye that my father never missed. That maybe it will make one think about themselves and their situation. Come join us at the Anchor Club, where we're going somewhere. Our Father's taking us somewhere. Those that want to come aboard are welcome. There's room for all of his chosen ones. Calling all of my lost sheep to the Father, for he has the answer. I of myself can do nothing, but with my Father, all things are possible through him that strengthens me. Think about it, family. Think about it, because we have a choice. So, family, the hour is moved. I love you and I care about you. I am my brother's keeper, and he is mine. And I need him like he needs me. And I need my father, and I need my mother, and I need my sister. I need my wife. I need her brother. She needs her sister. We are family. Stop separating and stop letting them separate us. For we are one. The Father have made it that way. We are the chosen tribe of Israel. Stand up and understand who you are. Hear the voice of the Father that's reaching out to strengthen you and bring you bigger and better than you ever even could imagine you could be. Family, come on with us. And this is the first of many lessons. And by his grace, and it will be, if you will be, here to hear the very message, I'll strengthen you, for I will give you the truth that he gives me. I am your keeper. I am my brother's keeper, and you are mine. I'm going to do my job, and I expect you to do yours. And we come together and we fortify each other. We don't take that Johnny come lately nonsense. Subscribe to this channel. Your brother needs your support. A worker should be worth his keep. If you see fit, hit that subscribe button and let me share something with you. Even if you don't, I'll be here as long as he allow me to be here. But this is what I do and this is my job. I am your messenger. I am your brother. I am my brother's keeper. And you are my family. I love you, family. And I pray and wish you come back to see your brother. Hit the subscribe button. Leave, talk back to your brother, for I need to hear from you as well. Let's do this together. We can do this. We're here to do this, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it by the one that strengthens me. Thank you, family. Thank you for loaning your brother your ear. Please come back, share the video. We got a lot of lost sheep out there. We need to rally together. Come on now. Let's stick together and let's stay together. I love you, family, and I thank you. Love your family. Take care of your family. Allow them to love you. Reach out to them wherever you see a need. Help each other. That's what we do. I love you, family. Have a beautiful day. God bless you. Peace.